wanted to shoot a quick intro for this video. So today I'm showing you guys how to turn into Jack Skellington. And in the video you will see I turn the exposure all the way down so that my background is really dark. This is just so you guys can kind of get a feel of the illusion if you sit in front of a black background. If you're going to take pictures, or maybe if you're at a party and you're sitting like against a black sheet or something, you will look like you're just the whites of your face. So yeah, it's nothing wrong with your computers or my editing, it's on purpose. So I hope you guys enjoy this video and I will see you at the end. So to start out, I'm taking a white eyeliner pencil and I am just drawing out exactly where the head is going to be, since it's not going to take up my entire face. Jack's head is about 2/3 of my face, so I want to make sure I am cutting out the correct areas, and basically you're kind of drawing a mushroom shape all over your face. For my eyebrows, instead of blocking them out with a glue stick, I'm using some scar wax and some liquid latex, and this is also going to give me a bit of a ridge over my already pretty prominent brow bone. It'll just help cover up the brows, but also give us a little bit of texture there and a little bit of lift. So once the liquid latex is tacky, I'm just going to use my fingers to smush down these scar wax and block out those brows and give us that more hollowed out look. And again, in case you missed it in the beginning, I did turn down the exposure so that you guys can really see the illusion come to fruition as I do this video. So I am just smoothing out the scar wax the best I can. And now I am outlining the eye area. I used a brush that had a little bit of black on it and a little bit of white so that I could basically create the nice sharp circles and then go back in and go around them and fill in later. But you're basically going to want to go from your inner bridge of your nose to all the way around your eye to make a circle. Now for the rest of this, it's pretty simple. I'm just filling in the areas outside of my outline with black cream paint. If I would have had my sponges, I definitely would have done water activated paint because it would have been much faster, but I know a lot of people just use cream paint because it's more accessible and it's cheaper and it's not that hard to work with. You just have to make sure that you do set it with a powder. I think NYX makes an SFX setting powder that's specifically for this kind of thing, but I am not 100% sure, but I'm sure you could find a good one on Amazon. So after I filled in the general area of my face, I started filling in the inside that is going to be the actual face of Jack. So I decided to use my finger just because I don't have that many brushes, and this was the most opaque way that I could get the white to lay flat. Cream white paint is really hard to get flat and not streaky, so I suggest either using a sponge or really being patient and working with your brushes. But with this being so precise, I wanted to use my fingers and really get into the nooks and crannies that I could, like around my lips and on my chin and nose area. So once I filled in the majority of this, I took a brush and filled in the fine details, making sure I had really sharp lines so that everything looked very cartoon-esque and sculpted like Jack does in the movie. And I highly suggest doing the opposite way I did my colors, doing the white first rather than the black. It just makes it easier to clean up mistakes and you won't have this weird mix like I have right here of gray. So once I have that whole area filled in, I'm going to work on the rest of the body. I decided I wanted to do Jack's neck, and that was just basically 3 rectangles on the throat area in white and then going around them in black. This is a really good way to create a full effect illusion that's really simple but is going to give you that super skinny neck look and make you look really skeletal. So for my chest, I wanted it to look like Jack's tux, so I started filling in with my fingers where the lapel of the shirt would be at, kind of where it would button up. And I couldn't remember if in the movie if it just hung on his body and you could see his ribs, but I don't think it did. I think it was an actual shirt, and based off of my little Funko Pop I have of Jack, I figured I would just do a solid shirt. So as I'm letting that dry, I decided I wanted to fill in my eyes to kind of see what I had left to work with. So I'm just using the same black cream paint and the brush as before, and I'm going around that outline we drew and filling it in. You can also use maybe a gel eyeliner if you don't want to use cream paint, or you could use a black eyeshadow. I just find that the black paint goes on a little bit easier, a little bit better, and definitely more opaque, and it's easier to cover up scar wax with paint than it is a liquid liner or something like that. Can we just talk about how last year I definitely would have done this with just liquid liner and white paint? We're making progress in the world of makeup, y'all. It's happening. Get ready. It only gets better from here, I promise. So I'm just filling this in. Obviously, this is a pretty simple process, so I'm just going to kind of talk you through it. Obviously, your regular eyeball is going to show when you open your eye, but they do make contacts that can cover up the parts of the white of your eyes if that's something that you're interested in. But don't wear them while you drive, because I'm pretty sure they impair your vision quite a bit. So now I am drawing the mouth, and I'm going right underneath my nose with this. You don't want this over your actual mouth part, because that is not where Jack's mouth lays. So I'm just drawing it underneath, and it does look like a little thin mustache at this point. But once you start adding the little up and down, they look like stitch marks. Like, he doesn't have those classic skull teeth, so they're just little hash marks over top. And as you can see, when I close my eyes right there, you get a little bit more of the effect. So now I am filling in the nostril area, and I will say I wish I did move the nostrils up a bit instead of using my own. But that is up to you. You can use it either way. It still doesn't really ruin the illusion. So now I'm connecting the neck to the head part just by going around everything in black and then filling in. I definitely suggest getting a bigger brush or using a sponge. I only had my teeny tiny little brushes, so this took me about an hour and a half total for the entire look, which actually isn't that bad. I definitely could have went in more on the hairline areas, but I could not get the paint out once I got it in there. So I am just painting back toward my neck a bit so that it blends into the background. If you're wearing a wig, I've seen people do this look with white wigs or black wigs. You probably don't have to paint as much back on your neck because the wig will cover it, but I am just keeping my hair in a bun so you guys can see my neck, so I want to make sure that it blends. Otherwise, it's going to completely ruin your illusion. This is definitely a look if you want to just take pictures. You could totally do it for a Halloween party or something. You're just not going to have the same effect as you would if you're just taking pictures and sitting on a black background. So now I am going to work on his little bow tie, and is in the shape of a bat, but it's kind of abstract. So I made somewhat of a heart shape and some really terrible, terrible wings. I'm awful at drawing wings on anything. So I just kind of made these weird little shapes and filled them in with black so that they looked somewhat like they are supposed to. Definitely check out a different tutorial if you want a really good, like, bat bow tie, because I am not your girl. So after I painted that, I started to go in with the rest of the suit. Using my collarbones as kind of a guide as to where to pull the collar at, I just started filling in black, and I just have a black little bralette on that kind of matched the paint color so that I didn't have to wear anything specific. It just kind of blended in over top. So I am painting down neckline, and I think even you could wear like a black dress if you wanted to gender bend this a little bit. But, so I am just painting in and filling in my skin, and this definitely was the longest part of this all because it was a lot of black. So now I'm just adding the little details like the whites of the eyes to the bat, and some pinstripes and the little indents on the collar. And that's basically it for this look. So if you guys enjoyed learning how to look more like this guy right here, this is Dapper Jack though, he's very fancy. Make sure you click the subscribe button. I am doing 31 days of Halloween again this year like I did last year on my channel. So please make sure you subscribe and hit the little bell down below so you always get notifications of when I upload. And make sure you follow me on Instagram down below so that I can see all of your Halloween costumes. Tag me in your photos, tag me in your recreations. I look at my comments, my likes, my tagged photos. I look at everything on Instagram. So make sure you guys follow all that stuff and you can keep up with what I am going as for Halloween because it's a secret. No one knows. Ooh. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope to see you back here tomorrow.